Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
What's going on, Horse Racing Gamer here. Welcome back to Rival Stars Desktop. Today we are deciding which fillies and which colts we're going to be using going forward on top of what we've already done with Swiss Skydiver and Skipaway. You guys left some awesome suggestions for horses you want to see us breed here in Rival Stars. I appreciate you guys for that. So without further ado, let's see which of the fillies we're going to be using starting today to create. And we have three choices between Ruffian, Rachel Alexandra, and Rags to Riches. And it looks like it's going to be Ruffian, so she comes first off of the board here. And we will be breeding her with one of the four colts, which we have remaining are Man of War, Go for Gin, Barbaro, and Secretariat. So I'll be really excited to see which of those colts we'll be using with Ruffian, and we'll get back to that right after this. So now we are going to decide the colt we are going to be breeding here with Ruffian to get our newest member to the HRG stables here on Rival Stars Desktop. So again, we have Man of War, Go for Gin, Barbaro, and Secretariat. I'm completely fine with any of these horses starting off with. I feel like Secretariat's kind of a common one people go with, but it looks like it's actually going to be Barbaro, and yes, I was hoping it was going to be Barbaro. Missed that horse, loved that horse. And it looks like we'll have Ruffian and Barbaro. Interesting combination. Very excited to see how the foal is going to turn out for those two. We will get into that in today's episode. So guys, appreciate you. Make sure to smash the like button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe if you're new here for weekly horse racing content. We play Rival Stars, Gallop Racer, a whole bunch of horse racing games, in other words. So make sure you guys subscribe. Without further ado, let's get back into Rival Stars. Alright guys, we are finally here at creating Ruffian and Barbaro. We'll go ahead and create the broodmare first, and we'll go ahead and title her up the late great Ruffian. Man, what an amazing horse she was. I'm not going to go ahead and go through the whole stats thing. She definitely was a front runner. Distance, track surface, distance, I can't recall. She usually ran a little over a mile, which in this game is like what? 1,800 meters. It is about 9 furlongs, is it not? I'll just keep it here. That's fine. Of course, I have her grade 10, and what I'm going to do is lower all her stats, obviously, so we can buy her, because we want to work with these horses. It's a lot easier to level your horses in the desktop version than the mobile version, so like doing this is actually not like a big deal. Or I could even start them out, like, I think I said I was going to start them actually at level 2. That's fine. Her appearance. Ruffian, the only noticeable thing is that she did have a pattern on her head, little marking. I'll see it once we get there. It was similar to this. It was just kind of like a star, and then the rest of her body, she really had no pattern. So we'll make her, and then we'll go ahead and make Barbaro. So we just get back to where there's no patterns. Did I pass it? Shortly after the... Where is it? Did I pass it? Oh my gosh, why are there so many patterns? Did they add more? No, we're getting close to the beginning. Okay, there it is. Like, as far as her legs, I don't think she really had any socks. I'm looking at a picture of her now, obviously, and she did use 2 bandages or 2 leg wraps on her back legs, but she didn't really have a sock. I'm just going to keep that as none, actually. Give her the star, and I'll just look for her coat. She was definitely darker. I'm not sure what you would... Everybody always has a difference of descriptions. Like, obviously, people that know horses, and then some people know horses and they still disagree. So it's like, I typically what's the word I'm trying to say? I stray away from, like, identifying horses with certain colors or certain coats, because, like, there's going to be somebody that says, no, that's not what it is, and just, might as well just avoid that. Ruffian was definitely more on the darker side as far as her coat was concerned, but again, this is a game, so it can only find something so close to what she actually looked like. And everybody's interpretations of how these horses looks is also different. Some may be like, oh, well, I think she was lighter, or I think she was darker. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, it really is just up to the individual person. Now, like I said, it's kind of hard to find her coat. It was more... It's very hard in this game. Like, none of these really resembles her coat, and it was a beautiful one at that. It was closer to, like, not this exactly, because it's much darker. It's much more, like, you know what I mean? It's just she had a much darker coat to her. So I don't know if I'm even going to be able to find that. Maybe this is about as close as we can get in the game tour, because there's nothing else remotely close. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with that for the time being. We'll go ahead and save and upload. So Ruffian's, she's already completed that quickly. And now we'll go ahead and create her mate, who will be, again, the late great Barbaro. It's so sad, man. So many of these horses have passed away, and gotta be honest, a lot of them passed away very early. Like, they had on-track incidents that, you know, unfortunately led to them having to be euthanized. That no matter how long I've been into horse racing, that always upsets me. It doesn't matter if it's one horse a year, like just the thought of a horse having to be euthanized because they break one of their legs or they get fractures or anything like that. It always upsets me. And it's not like I'm blaming people. It's just like it sucks that horses' bones are that delicate, that brittle, that they can break pretty easily under the wrong circumstances. Barbaro, similar. He also kind of had like a star head marking. It wasn't much. Maybe closer to something like this, a regular star. No, it was really like a regular. It was kind of like the star strip, not as long actually. I would say the star is the closest. I'm literally looking at a picture of him right now. It wasn't as long as this. It didn't go like halfway down, you know, his head, so to speak. It still was primarily at the top. That's why I feel like just sticking with the star is the best. As far as his legs, he had a similar look to Ruffian. I actually have both of their pictures up. In fact, I mean, this may look a little, whatever, but you guys will see the images I'm looking here on screen right now. They're pretty similar. You see what I mean by Ruffian? She appeared a lot darker, and keep in mind, she was also from way, way back in the day where the quality of the cameras and stuff was nowhere near what it's been in the last 20 years. So she may look darker inherently, but more pictures I saw of her were similar to this looking. Her coating was definitely on the darker side. And like I said, Barbaro, he's not too far off. They have pretty similar looks as far as their coating is concerned. I just think Ruffian's a little bit darker. Barbaro, not that much different. And like I said, you can tell by their head markings, still kind of, they both have the star. Like Barbaro's doesn't go all the way halfway down his head. So I'm only working with so much here in this game. So we're going to go ahead and just do for Barbaro, of course, no socks for him, which is, I mean, it makes it easier. It's actually great because we're really doing this. We're using these real horses in real life to create these foals, imaginary foals, what ifs. Like, what if this horse bred with this horse? Obviously, these two were not even alive at the same time, so it would have never happened. So the game is really the closest you can get. And it's just a nice thing to do. And like I said, it does have me excited for just combining these two horses based off of the real one, seeing the different coats for sure, how the horses will look visually. I think is always pretty fun to see potentially how it could turn out. But of course, it's just a game, so you're not supposed to take this with like, you know, a whole bucket of salt. Like, you're supposed to be like, oh, this is what maybe a foal could have looked like under certain circumstances. Okay, it's not any real indicator at all. Obviously, it can't be. I mean, it's a game at the end of the day, and the game's not thinking about that when I put these names in. It's not thinking about Ruffian. It's not thinking about Barbaro. This is just a creative thing that we're doing. I think I have to explain that. Sometimes people take things too literally, and it's like it's just a video game at the end of the day. I would say this is the closest coat I can get to Barbaro as well. Like, that's the thing. It's a game. There's only so close you can get to how these horses look. I'm fine with that. I wonder if they're going to look like twins, because I swear it's like the same coat I used for Ruffian. Actually, let me go ahead and check. There's not anything else. Maybe this for Barbaro, maybe just a little bit on the lighter side. We'll go ahead and do that for him. But he looks good. I'm ready to upload him, and we'll go ahead and acquire both of these. We have the money. So let's look in our collection just to make sure they're still there and their names don't have like weird asterisks next to them, because the game will do that. When you're trying to use the word king, it'll put asterisks. I don't know why. I don't know what bad word it thinks it is, but it doesn't matter. So you see, there is a difference between Ruffian and Barbaro, but they do look pretty similar. I just think Ruffian was a little bit darker. So I am really happy with how both of them have turned out so far, and I'm excited to see what foal we're going to get out of these two. What type of looking foal, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and get this going immediately. We have the money, so let's go ahead and head over to the market here. Let me adjust this a little bit. It's a little bit shorter than I want. Okay, just my OCD kicking in. So there's Barbaro. He costs 85. Huh? Why do you cost so much? What did I do wrong? Oh man, was I supposed to start? I was probably supposed to start. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. They shouldn't. They're not supposed to cost that much. Maybe I thought I put them at level 2, but when I created my other horses, maybe I didn't. Maybe I did keep them where they were. Can I edit? Can I edit you, please? Yes, I can. All right. I'm gonna drop your level. If I can. Yes, I can. Cool. That should help out. Like, it shouldn't cost 8.5 million. I know it's still gonna cost a couple mil, but it shouldn't be that expensive. Update. Thank you. I thought with like who do we use? I thought with Swiss Skydiver and Skip Away, I put them at like level 2, but clearly not because I wouldn't have had the money to buy both of them at the same time if I did. So I'll just keep both of them at level 1 here. That should suffice, right? Yeah, that should suffice. They should be much more affordable now. Like I should be able to buy both of them with the money I have or close to it, but I'll double check. Okay, good. I didn't want to have to like end the recording and then edit that back in. I was hoping I could just change it and I could. So now let's see. Still 80. Wait, no, I have to update this, right? Yeah. Okay. Wow, still that expensive. I swear Swiss Skydiver and Skip Away were not that expensive. I must be crazy. At level 10? Let me double check. Because, I mean, I did bring them in at level 10, did I not? Yeah, they're both level 10, level 10, level... Wow. Yeah, what did you cost? Can I even see how much they cost originally? Probably not, huh? Wow. Well, maybe they did cost that much. I swear they were much cheaper. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and buy Barbaro. Then I'll have to do some grinding off stream, off recording, to acquire, or Ruffian, I guess, first, because who really wants to watch me grind money? Not really, right? There she is. She looks beautiful. I mean, compared to the picture, hold up. I'm going to show you guys right now. It's as close as I can get in this game, right? She has the same kind of darker, sweaty look. Like, she looks beautiful. I think that's as close as I could have gotten in this game. So I'm actually happy with how she turned out. So we'll stick with that for now. That's fine. And then Barbaro, I'm gonna have to. Oh gosh, I really have to grind. 8,100. Wow. So it's I'm gonna need like 20 million for each pair of horses I do. It's not a pain. It's just, it takes, I mean, you just have to repeat the same type of races and bet on yourself. That takes a while. Like, it's definitely nothing anybody wants to watch. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just grind some money off screen here. Now, if anybody wants to see me do this, let me know. I highly doubt anybody really does. But if some people are like, oh, I don't mind if you keep rolling and just kind of show us how you're able to accumulate money fast in this game, I can always show you. But for the most part, it's kind of monotonous. You don't really, it's nothing exciting to partake in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Get us up to at least 9 million. And then we'll come back, buy Barbaro. And we'll get into some breeding. I would like to race Royal Sky here today. Remember, he is the foal from Swiss Skydiver and Skip Away. I would like to race him today, in today's episode at some point. Yeah, he looks pretty, I mean, he looks really good, actually, considering his level. And, you know, I didn't cheat or anything. Like, I just created 2 level 10 horses with very base stats. So what happens with the foals is kind of up to interpretation, right? Like when they're born, they always get different stats. They may not always get the same exact stats as like their parents have. So it's no guarantee that you'll get like a perfect foal, even if you're creating your horses like in the creation menu. It definitely fluctuates. So I do recall though with Swiss and Skip Away, I think I thought I bumped their stats up at a different point, but maybe not. Skip Away stats are okay. They both are by default. And you see, Swiss Skydiver, her base stats were 69 at level 10. Or grade 10, I should say. 10, whatever. Skipaways were 65. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, this game is interesting. I'm not going to lie. Some things are kind of like WTF, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to grind some money, and I'll be right back with you guys once we get there. Alright guys, I am back. As you can see, I have almost $11 million. I totally forgot, or 11 million gold. Dollars, same thing. I totally forgot I could sell unnecessary equipment, and I got the reminder, oh, you have too much equipment, you need to get rid of some. I'm like, oh, I could have gotten half of the money just doing that. Yeah, but anyways, we have enough. We can buy Barbaro, and we still have enough for the breeding cost as well. And there is... Oh, I missed that horse. Barbaro was great. Really, really strong colt he was. We got both, and now we are ready to get to the best part, which is finally getting the breeding underway. So we have Skipaway, Swiss Skydiver, Ruffian, and Barbaro. And to be honest with you, we are going to do, obviously, the other horses. There's still a couple left, I think. Who's left on the filly side? Rachel Alexandra's there. I can't remember who else we have, but she's there. Rags to Riches, Man of War, Secretariat. These are just horses you guys have suggested. I'm not saying which is which, but there's still several horses we can still do. But I think for now, we'll probably stick to maybe trying to do another Skipaway and Swiss Skydiver. Or we could just combine parents. Like, we don't have to stick with the same grouping. We could definitely like do a Skipaway and a Ruffian, and then a Swiss Skydiver and a Barbaro. We can definitely change things up. But for now, we'll get one of each, and then we'll decide if we're going to give them siblings. I would like for each parent breeding, each parent pair, to give birth to at least 2 foals, a filly and a colt preferably, just to see just kind of the differences. And then maybe we'll look into expanding some different breeding options. So let's go ahead and make Barbaro the stud here. And yeah, let's get ready to do some breeding and see what we can get from a Ruffian and Barbaro foal. Can't say you'd be saying that in the same sentence, right? So there's Ruffian. And Barbaro, there he is. It's going to cost 578k. And obviously should be a front runner. The distance, it's still hard to gauge the distance, because when you look at their races, most of these great horses, they were always able to run a mile and a 16th, mile and a quarter even. So generally speaking, as long as it's like 8 furlongs, the equivalent of 8 furlongs in this game, which I think is 1,600 meters, if I'm thinking that correctly, 9 should be fine. I mean, it's still rival stars at the end of the day, right? All right, we're going to go ahead and skip to foaling, and let's see how this foal looks from Barbaro and Ruffian. I hope it's a filly, please. I feel like I've been breeding colts nonstop lately. And it's a filly, thankfully, because even my colts in the iOS game, which you guys know of at this point, we've just had colts. Like, I have not had any new fillies. She looks absolutely amazing. As you can see, despite the fact that both of her parents had 65 stats even at their respective levels, you see where she comes from. Now she has sprint energy at 66 instead of 65. And her acceleration jumped 2 points. So that just goes to show you, you don't always know what you're going to get when you breed horses in this game. You obviously want to get the best like you do in any other horse racing game that you breed, but it's not a guarantee. I was thinking her stats at the most part were going to be 65 flat or maybe like a 66 flat. No, her speed didn't change, but her acceleration and sprint energy got better, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and care for her now. A name, Ruffian and Barbaro. You see the name to come up with between the two. That's hard. I would have to look further down their lineage. I could combine the names into something that probably some people would be like, what were you thinking about? Barbian? Doesn't sound right. I usually like to combine the parents' names, especially since these are 2 horses everybody knows. Something Ian, I'm not really sure. I like the name Lost Twilight, but it certainly doesn't fit. Yeah, I don't know. This is the hardest part for me. You know what I mean? I could do a play on words. I can call her Daughter Ruffian or something like that. We could do that. I'm not sure. That still pays homage to Ruffian, not really to Barbaro, though. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's always difficult for me to think about names for like these real horses. If this was Gallop Racer, I'm just combining the 2 names. But I'm not really sure what to do. Barbaro, like I said, is just kind of out there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not. I'm not sure. I'm just going to stick with Daughter Ruffian for now. We're not going to be racing her in this episode. So you guys feel free to give me a better name. Please do. Abigail, if you're watching this, please give me a better name for this filly. Tossed a couple out, and then for the next episode when we come back, I'll just throw it in the random generator because I can't think of a good name for her. You guys are definitely gonna have to help me with the names. I'm gonna be awful at naming these horses, especially because they're real horses. I probably just have it in my head where like I want the perfect name, and I don't think I can do it. I feel more confident doing that for like my horses in Gallop Racer, but since these are iconic real life horses that existed, yeah, I don't want to miss that. So. And your foal will mature with base stats and no bonus. So if I were to skip her to just being a mare right away, these are where her stats will stay. But if I continue to take care of her, then she has a chance to actually get better stats than what she has, from my understanding. So I'm kind of curious. I want to see what she can be at her max. Now I can hire her. Do I even have enough money? I don't have enough money for any of you because that would make things a lot easier. 4 million. You know what? Let's go ahead. We'll do like, we need to actually get Royal Sky in some more races, which I did say I was going to do, just so I can hire somebody to take care of our newest filly while we're trying to collect some money. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and simulate one more race with Golden Monster just to try to get some money, and then we'll go ahead and toss Royal Sky in a couple more races. Maybe 2 or 3 today, see how he does. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this filly is going to turn out. And again, please give me a name, a much better name for her. Daughter Ruffian is just a temporary placeholder because she is the daughter of Ruffian, so everybody knows. I'm assuming that's not going to be her name. I'd be shocked if you all were like, oh, that's actually not bad, Eric. It's like, no, I think that's an awfully generic cliche name. But if you think it fits, we can stick with it. But I'm sure some of you, especially Abigail, you will come up with much better names than I can think of. I hope, at least if she's watching this video. So there's one race. I got us a 2 mil. Let's go ahead and throw Royal Sky into a race. Now, what level is he? So I have to double check where I should be putting him. So Royal Sky. You can run in anything at level 20. Okay. So what I've decided to do for these horses to keep it as challenging as possible is to run them in the highest level race that they're able to run in. Since he's a level 20 horse, he can run in like any race that's like level 21 and up, ideally. So like he can run in all these races. Now I think Elder Rock is going to be very tough for him. Now let's say he was, oh no, he can't run in 21s. Duh. He's not there. Once he's, right now Royal Sky is at level 20 max, so he can't run in these level 21 and up races. Once he gets to that point, then he could. Technically, the highest race he can do is 16 and up, which is fine. And I think the last, we can do one of these two. Sakura Valley, he's stepping up already in class. So I will always go to the furthest race I can. If that means the horse loses a bit, it is what it is, but they'll gain more experience. Legitimately, you do gain more experience for running your horses in tougher races in this game, and then we'll see. I mean, we're just going to see how these horses actually turn out, you know, and it's going to be completely decided by the AI. I'm not controlling my horses. It's only the mobile version I'll be playing. Here's the great Bolero. Here is Mr. Royal Sky. He looks awesome, I gotta say. I love his look with the red, a red shadow roll and the red and yellow hood, and then he has the mismatching socks essentially, with a little bit around the ankle of the left. But yeah, I think he looks really, really nice. No skills. We're gonna go ahead and select him for this race. He is the favorite, which is a good thing. I'll go ahead and put the best jockey on him, and you know what? We'll go ahead and do a top 3 bet. He should win this pretty handily, but I'm just gonna bet safe because it's not always a guarantee. I've been favored in races like this in this game, and I've lost. This game is very easy, and it can be very challenging at the same time. Like, anybody that plays understands what I'm talking about. At certain races, you come across certain horses that are just hard to beat. Like, they just seem to have an infinite amount of sprint energy. So, fortunately, the game still has that where it stays semi-challenging. I mean, Hyphy Dude, Abigail, Pinehaven, I've watched them with their greatest horses, and even still, with the amazing horses they've been able to create, they still sometimes lose. So that just goes to show you, this game is like a deceivingly difficult under certain circumstances. Not like it's inherently a challenging game. It's really not. But there are certain races at the highest level that are hard to win. So let's go ahead and watch Royal Sky in his second race here with us. So, again, I'm keeping track of their records, how they finish. He has 19 races left to go. Well, technically after this one, 18 races left to go. I forgot to give our filly a certain amount of races, but we'll decide that in the next episode, probably. I don't really feel like bringing my random wheel generator up at this point. So the beginning of next episode, we'll decide how long her racing career is going to be, because, I mean, she'll be matured at that point. Or we could decide it now, but like I said, I don't really feel like bringing up the random generator, but I could look for one on my phone. I'm just going to say, give me a random number between... The thing is, her parents, Barbaro and Ruffian, neither of them raced more than 20 times total combined. So she really... And that's because they both had unfortunate accidents. So... I'm not 100% sure exactly where I should be putting Ruffian. Like, how many races should I give her? You know, I would think if these two horses existed at the same time, had a foal that didn't have any issues, I would think that horse would be able to race a lot longer. But who knows? Maybe they would inherit some bad genetics from the parents. So I think for her, I'm going to give her at least 5 seems unrealistic. But like 20 also seems like a lot. I'm gonna give her something of like 7 to like 15. Yeah, 7 to 15 I think makes sense, considering both of the parents unfortunately had on-the-track incidents that resulted in their early days. Gosh, look at Royal Sky. He is out here in front. I'll handle this after. I don't even know why I'm looking at this now. Royal Sky, he looks beautiful out there on the track, and he's leading comfortably by a couple of lanes. Again, this is from skip away out of Swiss Skydiver. And Royal Sky is looking fantastic here. This doesn't always happen. Keep this in mind if you're not familiar with the game, or if you haven't played in a while. This does not always happen. Sometimes your horses, if they're not ready, they will suffer. But I mean, he is clearly out in front, and he is looking strong. Is Royal Sky. I mean, this really looks like watching the son of Skip Away and Swiss Skydiver. They were both great horses like this at the front, especially Skip Away. And Royal Sky, he is gone. 200 meters left to go, 1 furlong left, no opposition, nobody else even in the shot. It's all Royal Sky. And what a great second win for him. He's looking really, really strong. Wins that by 1.2 seconds. That's a huge margin. Absolutely huge margin. Yeah, I'm gonna need to find my sheet here and record that. I'll just have to write it down because I didn't open it like I should have before I started recording, but it's okay. He gets the win again by 1.2 seconds over Baffling Slipper, who came in second. So he's looking really strong. I'm really excited to see how he'll be able to compete against the other really, really good horses in this game. Because like I said, at the higher levels, it does start to get more challenging. Not every race, but you will come across certain races where like you're just not the favorite, and you actually have to really try to beat the favorite. Like it's really a thing. But Royal Sky, man, what a win! So that's his second win, and he won at like 144 point. What was the winning time? Yeah, 143. Excuse me. He gets a win, and the time is 143.278, and this is at 1,800 meters. So. Yeah, I'll be able to compare these. The reason why I'm recording these stats is because I want to compare our foals to see which of them are actually the fastest and which of them, you know, aren't. That kind of also lets us know where the speed really lies, I guess, in the parents in this game. So yeah, that was a fantastic win there for Royal Sky, and he's already at level 21. See, this is where things are going to start getting harder, because now that he's level 21, I'm going to run him in the hardest level 21 races. And like I said, sometimes I may go to the random wheel generator and have it like pick a random course, but it has to be within that level. I'll explain more in case some of you guys are confused. So we're going to go ahead and train him in speed, and we'll go ahead and train him in sprint energy and acceleration. So that means no more races underneath level 21. He's going to be racing with the big boys and the big gals now. So, for example, what I'm going to do for these horses going forward, again, I'm a little unorganized today, but I wanted to get this recorded because I've been a couple days behind wanting to do this. I get the next episode rolling. So, for example, level 21 races start all the way from El Trueno, and they go all the way up till Sapphire Oasis. So every track in between, which means Elder Rock, Lincoln Abbey, Sakura Valley, Billancourt, and El Trueno, all of these count. So I'll throw these 5 tracks in a random wheel generator, and then whatever track is picked, that's where we will race our level 21 horse. That way it does keep things random, because if it was up to me, I would simply just race my horse in the highest race all the times. But that takes away some of the fun, not to mention it doesn't keep things random. I feel like with the random wheel generator, at least we'll have the option. I mean, we'll have hopefully different tracks pop up, which will keep things very fresh, and it's not like I'll be manually choosing to go just to the same track every time, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Now what I could do, this would kind of be, I could do it like in a step ladder type of way, where it's, okay, we start with El Trueno, next step up, we go to Billincourt, next step up, we go to Sakura Valley. We could do it like that, right? But again, I like the randomization from the wheel, that it'll actually pick these courses out for us. Going forward, I am going to do another race with Royal Sky. We'll go ahead and race him here in El Trueno. Should be a tougher test, maybe not actually. We'll race him here for the second time, or his third time actually, and then that'll be it for Royal Sky for the day. So where are you? Here you are, still the favorite. I mean, the thing is, he is the favorite because these distances and the surface, the track surface actually fits him. So that is why we are the favorite more often than not. You know, I'm going to bet another win on him. He's looking really strong out front. So until I start to feel like he may actually face some opposition, right now at this level, he's looking pretty strong. So we'll go ahead and keep him there, and we'll watch Royal Sky's second or third race with us total, but the second race here today. And remember, he has, after this, he had 20 races to start with. So after this, he'll only have 17 more. It was 18 last time out. After this, 17 more races. So still plenty of time for him to still show us what he's capable of. So we're here at El Trueno. He is the favorite. Not as heavy of a favorite as he was last time out. So we'll see how this this does affect him. We're going 1,400 meters, so 7 furlongs. So just under a mile. Just about. And we're off and racing. We had post position number 4. He gets out a little bit slow here today. Yeah, he's actually out a little bit slowly. Maybe he'll poke his way through if there's any space that clears up. He's running near the front, but he's actually not out in the lead here. So we come down the back stretch. Royal Sky trying to find some space here. He's just right behind a wall of horses. He really can't go anywhere right now. Not too worried about that. I think hopefully once the stretch opens up, maybe some space will clear. I'm hoping he doesn't get stuck in traffic. But I feel like he's got a lot in there, and he's rearing up to go. So hopefully we'll see that. 800 meters left to go here. Can't tell who the leader is. I'm sure the commentator would be telling us. Now, the inside the gap, I think it looked like the lane cleared up, but it's still hard to tell from these camera angles. And the gap is cleared. The space has actually happened, and as you can see now, as we come around the final turns here, number 4 horse Royal Sky, that is our baby. From Skip Away out of Swiss Skydiver. He pokes his head in front. He's clear now by at least almost about half a length here. Down the stretch we come. Hasn't started his spurt yet, but he is clearly out in front. 250 meters left to go. Now here comes the opposition from a beautiful gray. Royal Sky, though, he's already out in front. He's going to kick away. I don't think this field is going to have enough to catch him in the end. And a beautiful ride there by the jockey. A beautiful run there for Royal Sky. He makes it 3 for 3. That was actually a really good race to see, especially seeing how he was going to navigate his way through the traffic. I was curious because sometimes you do kind of get blocked in this game. It's nowhere near like Gallop Racer, like the AI. There's more space. They will kind of just move in this game at some point. Not all the time, but usually. It's not like Gallop Racer where they would just stick to their lane and then just not differentiate off of that at all. So a good win, and I had a feeling once he was out in front, he would stay there. Like he is, it's looking very Sedate Ruler-like, very Skip Away-like, obviously in real terms, but Sedate Ruler from Gallop Racer in regards to how he's able to stay out front when he's there and keep the lead. That is an awesome thing to see. So he's 3 for 3, man. He's won all of his races completely CPU controlled, and we still have a lot more racing. He has 17 left in his career. He is 3 for 3. He's accumulating a lot of money already. In fact, let's go ahead and check him out. And then, actually, I need to feed our baby. Daughter Ruffian, a.k.a. name to be determined. Because I doubt anybody would want me to keep that name. I definitely want to hire a caretaker, so I could just not even think about it until she's ready to be matured. Or until she is at that age, I should say. If I could speak correctly today, but you know, the dealio with me, especially if I'm recording late, it doesn't happen. So anyways, yeah, he's got 3 wins. He's accumulated $200K already in earnings. Not bad. And Yeah, as you can see that pedigree, it's going to be awesome to see this pedigree tree develop more once we start breeding. Like once we breed him and set him as a stud, and we breed him with whoever. We could breed him with Ruffian and Barbaro's filly, to be honest. Like that would be a great way to kind of start seeing what type of different things we could get long term. But I'm really excited to see where these family trees end up looking, because it's going to be real horse names and then obviously the created horse names from the foals. But you're going to see a lot of the real horse names here. So that's going to be really exciting just to see how we kind of develop and the type of horses we can still create long term. The thing is, I'm sure there are updates that are going to come to this game eventually. It's probably just taking a while, and who knows what their plan is with Pigpock. But I'd be surprised if the game stayed like this for the remainder of its existence. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're definitely going to bring a lot of the stuff that's on mobile to this game eventually. So that's why I am really building up to playing this more often, because I feel like once those updates come in, it's going to be really, really enjoyable to play this game more long term. I mean, if this game had live events, I wouldn't play mobile at all, like, period. The creativity here on the desktop, the graphics, for one, are absolutely amazing and beautiful. Playing it with a controller is always nice. So the second they start adding more stuff to the desktop version, hopefully if that's in their plan, I mean, this is the version I'll be playing a lot more often. For sure. So, guys, I probably think that's going to do it here today. Like, I don't think there's really anything else left to do. Because, again, the filly, I want to accumulate more money to feed her, or at least have a caretaker. Excuse me, take care of her. And yeah, Royal Sky has already raced 2 times today, so we're not going to over-race him. Not like that's really a thing in this game, but for each episode. And look how much she really does look like, yeah, she definitely, I mean, she looks like both of them. They both had the star marking on the top of their head, essentially. And she's actually got I love that high sock on the back left leg. Which horse of ours has that now? I think it's my horse on the, on Rival Stars Mobile, my newest colt, has that really high back leg. And it's such an awesome, such an awesome trait to kind of see in your horses when you breed them, if it comes out that way. I absolutely love that look, and I think a horse in Gallop Racer 3 has it. I know our newest horse has like all of the legs, or all of the socks essentially. I don't get sick of watching this. I really don't. I don't get sick of just looking at our new horses. The graphics help so much. It feels very lively for a game, you know what I mean? It's like the closest you can get into a game when it comes to like creating your own horses, just seeing them in a 3D, very realistic fashion, because obviously I'm sure they've used green screen technology and something with real horses to get these accurate, pretty realistic movements, obviously. It's not going to be 100%. Those of you that work with horses obviously know that, but the general idea is that they didn't just render these in a program and take nothing from real horses like that. I mean, there is footage of that on YouTube somewhere, of them doing the renders with real horses to get these animations in the game. So I appreciate that attention to detail a lot, and like I said, for me especially, it's very, very, very enjoyable to see the horses, man. To look at, you know, what you're creating and how beautiful they come out to be. Like, this is the family, you know what I mean? This is the family of Barbaro, Ruffian, and daughter Ruffian, who again is TBH, or TBA as far as the name is concerned. Pretty similar, obviously. The parents, I mean, could you really tell them apart? Not too much. Barbaro is just a little bit lighter, but these images don't really suggest that. Maybe this one, you can tell their coats a little bit more, but it may still look the same to you. So that's awesome, you know what I mean? I really do enjoy it. That's why I've always still played Rival Stars. That's why I've never like abandoned the game, like, ever. Like, certain games I abandoned and I don't come back. Like, that will not happen with this, because I love this stuff about it. You know, it gets away from like the seriousness of Gallop Racer, and it gives you something that's fun, that's beautiful to look at, and you can still enjoy it in your spare time, and it's pretty relaxing. Like I always talk about that. It's a big deal for me when it comes to games I play in some way, even the serious ones. I still like to do some relaxing things if I can. Even my racing games I take seriously. Sometimes I'll just want to get a couple of laps in around a really nice track, and I'll just do, you know, some easy laps. It's not like I'm actually trying to really push it. So I always enjoy that about my games, and I love that about Rival Stars here. So guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you're new, make sure to subscribe here for weekly horse racing content. Of course, we will always play a bunch of different games on this channel. And again, I've been wanting to really get into Rival Stars for a while. You guys have no idea. If I can find my notes to show you how long I've been wanting to get back to actually making Rival Stars a regular thing, it's never going to be the priority compared to the other games on the channel, I should say. But as far as just playing it on a more regular basis and uploading content, I've wanted to do this for over a year. I don't know why I procrastinated on it so much. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. So I'm really happy. I'm finally now I'm more disciplined now to actually keep this as a regular thing. I feel like my discipline a year ago with Rival Stars always sucked. Even with the channel in general. You guys remember, I used to have a terrible upload schedule prior to like the last year and a half, 2 years. Remember, I used to upload once every couple of weeks or once a month, if that. I totally was not taking things seriously, but since I've been much more disciplined, now it's like, okay, now let me get on all of these things and these games that I've been wanting to play and put on the channel. So appreciate you guys, much love and support as always. Next time we come around, our filly, whatever her name is, you guys will decide the name. She will be ready to rock and roll. We'll decide the tack for her. You guys can even choose. I mean, if you look at the images from earlier, Ruffian just had 2 bandages, essentially, 2 wraps around her back legs, and Barbaro had the same deal with his back legs, and then he just had a white shadow roll. So I assume we should do the same for her. Like, I'd say give her a white shadow roll, and that's literally all we can do in this game, because for whatever reason, they still, I know because of, you know, horse racing, like in Europe, especially compared to, you know, the Americas, like, you know, there's a difference in things, but I definitely think she should at least have the white shadow roll to pay homage to Barbaro. I think that would be a nice touch, and that's really all she needs. I can't imagine any other tack we would put on her. Obviously, some different saddles, something that looks, you know, nice for her, but we'll keep her pretty basic for the most part. Give her a white shadow roll. I think that's fair, and then we'll call it a day. But again, you guys let me know the name of this filly in the comment section below. And again, if there's several names, I'm going to toss it in the random reel generator. And next episode, we'll just spin that thing and we'll see what it chooses. So that'll do it. But until next time, Horse Racing Gamer signing out. Hope you have a great, fantastic day. I shall see you all later. And goodbye.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.